All right, another day, another fuel pump. This is a 79 250 two-wheel drive, 351 Windsor, 3-speed on the column. Supposedly there's only like 10,000 miles on this motor and rebuild. Looks like it's possible. Looks like it's got all new gaskets on it at some point. Freeze plugs look like they've been all replaced. So yeah, I'd say that's possible that is the case. Carburetor needs to be gone through. I have an extra one. It's a remanufactured unit. I just saw something wrong. Look at that. See that? See that nut? I don't know if you can see it from here. The nut's backed off. So that's not good. It'll be a vacuum leak. I don't know why that's like that. Alright. Time to climb underneath it and get the fuel pump off. Well, at least it's nice and shady underneath this van. Not so much up there. Tell you what, my legs are gonna get a nice tan today. So, where's fuel? I got the old fuel pump out. It goes all the way up in there. Here's the old one. Don't look too old, but definitely bad. It's not working. Here's the new one, ready to go on. So I do these Ford fuel pumps. Put a little bit of gasket sealer on the mounting surface on the fuel pump and stick the gasket on. And then I thread the bolts through the gasket. And the gasket kind of holds the bolts in place. And I just put a little bit of sealer around, you know, the gasket mounting surface. You don't need to put a ton on there. Just a little bit will do the job just fine. Honestly, you don't even need it, but you know, just a extra precaution. All right, get this thing on here. Grab some fuel and let the camera warm up in the sun. Leaning on something that's very hot. That should be enough to get it to prime, I hope. Hope this battery's still up. I gotta get this thing detailed. Hold on. All right, take two with the jumper pack. Come on, stay running. It's got fuel and it's running. Gas tank, right? Oh, come on. Really? 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 Gotta replace this carburetor. Not leaking anything, right? Tappa, in case that float's stuck. pump's definitely working. Carburetor just sucks. Ah! No pun intended. Yeah, it's sweaty. Alright, I'm going to turn you off before it overheats. Definitely got to replace the carburetor on this. No doubt. Gotta meet some people at the warehouse a little bit, so maybe when I get back this afternoon I'll throw a carburetor on here. Alright, well. Alright, well. You finally sweep under the van, I guess. Or hit it with the blower, one of the two. No, I didn't go to the dark side and buy a Plymouth. Belongs to my buddy. I let him use my truck and trailer to go pick this up yesterday. So he's coming over in a little bit to grab it. He just got back too late last night to go drop it off. Alright. I'm gonna go inside and cool down for a little bit. Whew. Actually, I'm fighting the sunlight. I'm gonna try to get this guy on here, but I've had some trouble getting engine cover off. I had to cut the bolt that holds it down over here. The other one came right out. But I'll show you, man, this is like, this wasn't even tight. Look at. Remember I showed you earlier the nut holding the carburetor on up here was literally about to come off the stud. Well, this one's not even tight. So I can only imagine what, let's drop the nut. It's right there, I see it. All right. I can only imagine what kind of vacuum leaks this thing has. So, oh geez, look at that. No pressure at all, came right off. You know, I like the guy I bought this off of, but I don't know if I have much faith in his mechanical abilities. I had to fix the ground on this just to get it running. He said it wouldn't start for him one day, and that's why he parked it. The ground, he had the actual ground grounded right here. And I'm like, how did it even start like that? I don't know. So, yeah, see, that was on with like 2 treads. Whatever. This one, oh geez, look, it's not even tight. The carburetor wasn't even tight on this thing. He drove the thing like this. Peekaboo. Tight. Did this guy tighten any of this stuff? None of this stuff is tight. I bet you this vacuum hose is tighter than anything else on here. Oh yeah, that was tight. See where the vacuum line for the distributor's going. This one, I'll pull that guy off. That guy's not coming off. Nope, that guy broke. Probably needs to be replaced. Alright. That's off, that's off. Where is the vacuum line for distributor going? I wonder if it feeds into that the block. Probably what it does, it feeds into that block I already disconnected. Alright, gotta get the fuel line off. He's got a fuel filter on there. I'll get the fuel line off, and is this solenoid over here hooked up? It's solenoid, I gotta disconnect the solenoid. Alright, disconnect that. What are you doing? my hand open. Come on. Alright, there they ask you. Just come on off. There we go. Alright, that's off. Fuel line. Alright, fuel line's off. I think the carburetor should come off. That sucked. I lost you guys. Where'd you go? Oh no, I thought I lost you forever. Unfortunately, that's where I stopped tonight. Turns out I don't have the right gaskets for this. And closer inspection on this carburetor, I think it's counterfeit. I think it's a counterfeit remanufactured Ford carburetor. I didn't even know those were a thing. It's just not adding up. Just the way it looks and everything, the way it feels. It weighs about half as much as the original one. And it's got a lot of stuff on it that's like universal. So, and I found China stamped into the bowl somewhere. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to use this carburetor. I thought it was a great deal, but whatever. I think I'm just going to pick up a carburetor kit for this one tomorrow. I know I have one sitting at the warehouse that I bought for Neil, using his van. So if the parts store doesn't have one, I'll just grab that one for now. Yeah, no big deal. He's gone for the next 2 weeks, so no hurry on his part. Alright, well, good night. Well, don't need that for anything. So, I encountered what I believe is a counterfeit carburetor. Alright, so there's a company called Uremco. They're based out of, I believe it's Schiller Park, which isn't too far from here. Yeah, it's maybe 25 minutes from here. And what they do is they take these stock carburetors and rebuild them. Well, remanufacture them. Yeah, and they got a little sticker on them. It says proudly remanufactured in the USA, and you know, yada yada yada. Well, the carburetor I thought was a brand new remanufactured Uremco carburetor. It's got China cast into the main body of the carburetor. And I'll just go grab it. I'll show it to you. Give me a second. So there's the stock original carburetor. Here's the Uremco remanufactured. I just swapped the solenoid onto it. But if you just look at the carburetor, and I don't have a scale in here. Wish I did. I don't right now. But it's got some weight to it. They're close to the same weight. Main body over here. Look at that, is cast into the side of the carburetor. China. So that is not an OEM Ford part. I completely guarantee you that is not an OEM Ford part. When you take a carburetor and remanufacture it, you're taking the original carburetor and replacing the parts in it that need to be replaced, not taking a new made in China carb body and putting together new parts, which is exactly what this is. All this is brand new stuff, and it's like really sloppy linkage. Like, I mean, I can't really show you in here, but I mean, the side play on there is like horrendous. There's like none on this, and that's the used original. You tell. I mean, look how sloppy that is. That's like, pretty much the same carb. And this was missing hardware. Like this was missing a little pin here, so I threw a counter pin on it. And just, the quality just isn't there. It sucks. It really sucks. So I'm just gonna get a carb kit for this. It's what I should have done in the first place. I mean, that's a good spare carburetor for something, in case I have one that's completely locked up. But look, it actually says Uremco, remanufactured 10/18/19. This is not a remanufactured carburetor. This is a brand new made in China carburetor. There's no doubt in my mind. And there's just no way that this is a used. Look, you can even see where they, machined everything. It's, it's not a reman unit. It's garbage. And it's not a case of somebody, pulling one over on me at a swap meet, because this was still sealed in the plastic and everything. Oh. There, this says, factory casting marks on it. This has none. It's just, it's not right. I don't like it. So I'm not going to use it. I throw this over here. I still got to get that guy off of there. Solenoid. So I'm going to pull this thing apart. Keep it short and simple. I'm not going to, show you the whole thing and bore you with it. I want to show you these screws down here. I believe these are the idle mixture screws. Keep track of how many full rotations it takes to unscrew these, because that'll give you a good baseline to start with when you put it back together. I know if you buy instruction, buy a carb kit and they give you instructions, it'll tell you, insert these 1.5 turns or whatever and go from there. But this thing ran with these settings where they are. It just, and this carburetor might even be okay. It just, all the mounting studs were loose. So it could just be as simple as, that was the issue. But you know what? With those being loose, I just feel better about it if I just went through the carburetor and checked everything out. Because it won't hurt to replace the accelerator pump. The diaphragm in there gets dry, and it won't hurt. I have a feeling it's probably bad anyways. So yeah, anytime you have any screws like that, just count. Slowly take them out and count how many turns. If it takes 3 3/4 turns to pull this one out and 3.5 turns to pull that one out, write it down somewhere. So then when you put it back together, put this one in 3 3/4 turns and that one in 3.5 turns. And that should get you a good baseline for where you need to be to, get the vehicle running. That goes for pretty much any adjustment screw. That's how I've always done it. And I've never really had, any trouble doing it that way. Now, if you suspect that somebody was, messing with the carburetor before, and, the adjustment screws are all out of whack, and yeah, you're going to have some issues. But for the most part, if it was in the vehicle, and let's say it sat for 10 years, chances are nobody messed with those screws. So they're probably in a good starting position. So besides that, just remember, remember where everything went when you took it apart. Don't be afraid to take pictures. And I hate carburetors, I really do, but they're not hard. I just need to learn to chill out and relax. That's all. So I know, right? So I'm gonna get it apart and see you guys in a little bit. Well, show you how far I got. You know, you always want to try and keep all your hardware together. I got this little magnetic tray. I threw everything in. I try to keep everything separated. There's tags. There's the choke pieces. There's, you know, components. Put them in a tray. You know, don't do it like I do. Just, you know, do it how whatever works best for you. So this is the accelerator pump. Look at it, nastiness in there. You see in there too. It's pretty nasty. So the accelerator pump is completely frozen. I looked around my garage. I found this little. I had this over by my press. It's got a hole in it, which is like the perfect size for this, and so I was able to, you know, tap down. You know, this is a mechanic's hammer, of course. You know, only the best for me. You gotta, you know, tap down to get that in there. I used some penetrant on it first, of course, but that's as far as I can get it with that. So I'm gonna grab a punch and get it out the rest of the way. Keep most of this over by my press because you never know when you're gonna need it. Find a lot of this stuff in storage lockers. Oh, there we go, got it out there. The accelerator pump should not come apart like that. It should come apart a lot easier. So just keep that in mind. So when I first posted the video about my multitude of vans, I noticed I lost a bunch of subscribers, and I got a dislike on the video right away. So I can't imagine they you know, I can imagine the two went hand in hand. And I understand, you know, some of you subscribe to me because I do storage lockers, and let me talk about that for a second without getting into too much detail. With the pandemic, people are looking for alternate means of making money, so a lot of them turn to buying storage lockers. So we have more buyers right now than I've ever seen the whole time I've done this. And that in turn made the prices go absolutely through the roof. They are astronomical right now. And I used to buy, you know, 2, 3, 4 lockers a week. And now I'm lucky if I buy one once a month. Now, I went nearly 2 months without buying a single locker. And I mean, I can't really make videos about that. It's not, you know, and I'm not making money doing this, so I'm not going to spend extra money, you know, to go out of my way to buy a storage locker just to show you guys. I'm sorry, it's not a sound business plan for me. You know, in hopes that, you know, I'll get more subscribers and more viewers and yada yada yada, and it's just not, you know, and I'm at a point in my life, you know, I lost my wife almost 2 years ago now. I've got a now 5-year-old son who's going to school, and I just, you know what, I need to start thinking about myself. And creating work to make myself work nonstop just wasn't working anymore. I'm sorry. It was taking a toll on me. So it's taking a toll on the relationship with my son too. So, and I don't want to be that father who, you know, whose son says, "Oh, my daddy was never there growing up. He was always working." I don't want to be that guy. I don't. And he deserves better than that. So I'm doing what I need to do to live my life. Now, I'll still buy storage lockers. Honest truth, I still will. I've got one in the back of my van right now that I want to show you guys as soon as I get it out of here. It's pretty awesome. I'll put it that way. It's a pretty cool locker. Some of the nicest stuff I ever found. So I'll show you that one pretty soon, I promise. But anyways, I'm shaking this camera. I don't know why. So that's where I'm at in life. I'll still show you the lockers when I buy them and they're worth showing. I swear I will. It's part of my life. It's adventures of me. You know, it's part of my adventures. So I just you know, like I said, my life changed dramatically 2 years ago, and I am reluctantly changing with it. So, and it's probably for the better, to be honest. So anyways, going to get back to this carburetor. That's right, that's the power valve. That's pretty nasty. This is it's gonna take a lot of oh, look at this. Wow, that's bad. Whew. I'm surprised this thing ran. I gotta show you this. This is just unbelievable. Look at that in there. Ew. Alright, so I just took out, I'm calling it the right one because that's how I'm looking at it. It's technically the left, I think. But it took 5 1/4 turns to get that out of there. So when I put this back together, that's going to be my baseline. That's going to be 5 1/4 turns in. And how I like to do it, I like to put a little pressure on the screw, because that way you could tell if the screw's ready to come out or not. So here, that's half, it's 1 1/2, it's 2 1/2, 3 1/2, 4, okay, just move it around a little bit, so 1/4, 4 1/2, 4 3/4, right there, it's almost there. Oh, it's right there, 5 1/4. So they're both at 5 1/4 turns. Now you can imagine, you know, if your instructions say turn in 1 1/2 turns, well, you're still going to be, you know, let's see, 3 3/4 turns away from where it needs to be. So you'd be sitting there for a little bit, little bit, little bit. Okay, so, well, at least now you have a good baseline. You know, when you put it all back together, it'd be like, all right, turn in 5 1/4 turns, and, you know, go from there. I'm pretty confident it'll run pretty good on those settings. So, well, another beautiful day out. Granted, I did everything correctly. I'm gonna put this back on the van. I'm gonna replace that inline fuel filter first. Put this tag back on. I forgot to put this tag back on. And then there's a heat shield that goes here. I forgot to put back on too. I'm gonna get that taken care of and throw the fuel filter on and get this carb on. Alright, so carburetor's back on. I believe everything's hooked up. Capped off a few vacuum leaks. As long as I did something correct, this theoretically should start and run. Oh, just shot gas out of the carburetor. I don't know why I did that. Something hooked up wrong? I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? Why would it shoot gas out of the carburetor? It's maybe where I end this video. I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? Is the float stuck? Why would the float be stuck? Well, it did run good for a minute. And it just... Try again. No, it is not, it was not happy with that. I think I flooded the motor. Alrighty then. What did Jim do wrong? I'm aggravated right now, really am. I checked and double checked everything. Why would it shoot gas out of the carb? I think it filled the cylinders up. I think that's why it stopped cranking. So we'll just stay defeated today. I got my sister's wedding to go to, so we'll just leave off here. Hope everybody else's day is going better. Yeah.